The courtroom was silent. Only the sound of shuffling papers and the hum of the ceiling fan broke through the stillness. It was one of those mornings when justice felt heavy, when truth itself seemed to be on trial. Judge Henry Thomas had seen it all: criminals, lies, confessions, remorse, and redemption. But that day was different. It was the day that changed everything. In front of him stood a young Muslim man named Yusuf Karim, accused of vandalizing a public property during a protest. He looked calm, too calm for someone facing prison time. His eyes carried no defiance, only peace. As the prosecutor presented his case, Yusuf stood quietly, listening, occasionally glancing at the Qur'an placed gently on the table before him. When it was his turn to speak, his lawyer, a soft-spoken woman, asked the judge for permission for her client to say a few words. Judge Thomas adjusted his glasses. "Go ahead," he said. "You may speak." Yusuf stepped forward, took a deep breath, and began. "Your Honor," he said softly, "I know I am being judged today, but I also believe that Allah is the ultimate judge. I did not come to argue or defend myself with pride. I came to share something that has guided me through every hardship." He opened the Qur'an, his voice trembling slightly, and began to recite. "Indeed, Allah commands justice, good conduct, and giving to relatives, and forbids immorality and oppression. He admonishes you that perhaps you will be reminded." Qur'an, Surah An-Nahl 16-90. The words echoed through the room. A few spectators in the back bowed their heads. The air seemed to change, thicker, deeper, more alive. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories that reveal the light of faith where you least expect it. Subscribe now. And let faith, truth, and humanity guide your heart. Judge Thomas felt something stir in his chest. He couldn't explain it. It was like the words carried a force he hadn't felt in years. As Yusuf continued reciting, his tone became softer yet more powerful, his words wrapping the courtroom in peace. When he finished, a heavy silence fell again. The judge lowered his gaze, his eyes welling up. For a long moment, he said nothing. The courtroom clerk looked at him, confused. The prosecutor shifted uncomfortably. Then, unexpectedly, a tear rolled down the judge's cheek. He whispered almost to himself, "I have read laws all my life, but I have never heard words that touched my soul like this." He took off his glasses, wiped his eyes, and looked at Yusuf's case. "Dismissed," he said quietly. "May God guide us all to truth." The gavel struck once, but its echo lingered like a prayer. Outside the courtroom, reporters rushed to capture the story. Some called it a miracle, others called it divine intervention. But for those who were there that day, they all agreed on one thing. The words of the Qur'an had moved even the hardest of hearts. That moment went viral. Millions watched the clip online, the judge's tears, Yusuf's calmness, and the timeless beauty of the verse. It wasn't just about religion, it was about awakening, a reminder that truth and mercy can exist even in the most unlikely places. Weeks later, the judge met Yusuf privately. "I've been reading," he said, holding a small Qur'an in his hand. "I don't know where this journey will take me, but something inside me changed that day." Yusuf smiled. When Allah guides a heart, it never gets lost again. And with that, two men from two different faiths shared a moment of understanding that neither the courtroom nor the law could ever define. Narrator closing note. Sometimes it takes one verse to change a life, one moment to awaken a soul, and one act of truth to open hearts that were long closed.